All right. We'll bring the December meeting of the Information Technology Advisory Commission to order. I believe we have a quorum. There's Gary coming in. Give a couple minutes before we get into anything too much substantive. Before I get started, we'll pause for public comment. David, are you a member of the public and would you like to comment?
Hey folks, yeah, David Chong. I am indeed a member of the public. I don't have any comments. I came to hear the goings-on of the commission and see what you guys were all going to discuss today, mostly out of curiosity. I'm new to the area.
All right. Well, show up a couple more times, David, and we might suggest you join. And we do have a couple vacancies, so watch out.
Noted.
All right. We did circulate the minutes, the November minutes. Thank you very much, Prescott, for putting that together for us. Do I have a motion to adopt the minutes from November?
I have that one comment I wanted addressed.
Do you want to add that
thinking, well,
to the minutes?
I kind of think we should be including action items in our minutes. Don't you think?
Sure. So Jackie's comment is to add the action item for Andrea and Michael Cornfield to edit the and format the appendix, the additional appendix that we had. With no objection, I will add that. Are there any other comments or adjustments to the minutes that need to be addressed? I didn't get any other via email either, although. All right. Anyone want to move to adopt as amended?
Yes, I'll move. Also move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Actually, Jim, I think you technically need to come on camera to vote. Sorry, sir. These are the new rules.
For some reason my camera is not enabled, even though it says it is.
I think technically we don't have a quorum, so we can't actually adopt the minutes until we can get. Oh wait, no, Gary's here, right? Let me recount.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm just recounting quorum.
Yeah, I don't know why it says my camera's on, so. Apologies.
And 6. No worries. We do have 6 people, which is a quorum at this point. So I think that was a valid legal action on our part. All right. Next up, chair's update. This is I was hoping that we would have both Frank and Mike here to make this announcement, but at the recess board meeting yesterday, the county board renominated Michael Cornfield for a new term, and he has agreed to step into a leadership role as vice chair of the commission, relieving Frank of his duties as vice chair. Frank, of course, is going to stay on through his term and probably many more terms after that. I'm not sure that he's legally allowed to not be on the commission. But Mr. Cornfield will be stepping into the vice chair, and then hopefully sometime next year into the chair position, and I will step down and I'll open up another opportunity for another chair at some point next year. So if you're interested, let me know. So that is the big chair update. I don't have anything else. Go back to the agenda, and we hit the big item, which is the broadband policy recommendation, which we had discussed at length last month, and had tabled the conversation to continue it this month because we weren't able to complete it. I sent out the updated version, and let me go ahead and share the document virtually so that people can see what's going on here. Right. So we ran through the edits to the top of the to the letter, I think where we left off was primarily around Appendix 3. We didn't have a chance to discuss it in depth, kind of briefly reviewed it. But if we have any comments or discussion points, edits, suggestions, please bring it up. And if you guys could use the raise your hand function and call it out, I can't see you and also share at the same time. So use your manners.
I think, this Appendix 3 really captures a lot of the issues we've been discussing. The idea of dark fiber lease or whatever we can do to get it into the marketplace, and the skepticism that there's a municipal provider that's going to be able to do fiber to the home using the Connect Arlington backbone. It doesn't provide enough of a jump to justify that kind of an investment. I mean, it'd be great if it would, but it just isn't realistic. So that focus is, I agree, ill-placed. I really think they should go back and review these issues. So I like, the way you've drafted this up. I think it makes a lot of sense, and we've kind of talked through these things. And at least my view is that it's a good basis for directing them to figure out how to actually get this fiber used.
Great. Thanks, Jonathan. That was, your feedback a couple meetings ago was really to kind of flesh out the fact that the ARL fiber version of the future is just one potential model, and that there are several that needed to be invested. So I tried to essentially break out three different models from either what have already been proposed or things that we've done that we've seen happen in the county thus far as examples of things to further look at. So I appreciate that feedback. Anybody else have any comments on this? Positive, negative, edits?
I have an overall question.
Sure, Jackie.
This is, when we title it, we're titling it as our recommendations on broadband.
Right.
But we have the whole section, which is at where we say, recommendations on broadband are too narrow. We need to look at the broader context. And that's really the meat of this. Is there something we should say in even what we're calling it that makes it clear that it goes beyond broadband? Because even every time it's on the agenda and it says broadband, I always think, well, that's really not the meat of what this is.
Well, I think there's two things. One, there is the county action that we're reacting to, which is the broadband study.
Yes.
And there's the Virginia Code section, which specifically talks about the provision of broadband. And then there's also our larger recommendation to address additional policy areas. So, I can change the file name. There's not really a title here. I'm getting a phone call from Frank right now. So there's not really a title to the document. So I hear what you're saying, but do you have a proposed
Well, maybe it's
edit?
putting a sentence up in the introductory paragraph that indicates
And
what it right later on you say, where is it that I'm looking at it? There's a place where you say this is too narrow. Is that in the letter?
yeah, right here.
So I guess I was just thinking maybe something right up front that makes it clear we're addressing more. It's broadband and.
How about broadband infrastructure and information technology?
And the comprehensive plan or something like
Policy.
that. Yeah. And information, that's fine. Just something so that you know right there in the beginning, it's not going to be just about broadband.
All right. Other thoughts, comments?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the same thing. We say the scope of the recommendations is ultimately too narrow. um, it, it's not too narrow if you're talking about broadband only, but what we're saying is it's, you know, for our recommendations on IT, um, uh, broadband is important, but too narrow for how we should be represented in the comprehensive plan. So
I do think in this paragraph, we are saying that the scope of the recommendations are too narrow,
we
even for just broadband, right? We have other recommendations around broadband beyond addressing digital equity.
yes. So that's two, but it what I'm getting at is these are really recommendations related to the comprehensive plan. And broadband is one of those things that we looked at because it was recent. But we have other things that need to be added to the comprehensive plan in addition to this one, which is by state law required to be added.
Right. So as drafted, we are not recommending, we're stating it as a preference to include the additional goals in the comprehensive plan. And I think that, I mean, I'll, open to other thoughts on this, but I think that is the right balance because the state law on the comprehensive plan does not require those other elements to be included. We think it's a good idea. There are benefits to doing it that way.
Yeah, that's fine,
Okay.
but our topic is still the comprehensive plan, and broadband is actually a subset.
So I would frame it as our topic is information technology policy.
Yes,
Comprehensive plan is a vehicle by which the county board enacts policy.
that's fine too.
It's not the only vehicle, right?
That's fine too. So, but it's related to ready to you to express our policy recommendations. How about we reverse these? Related to information technology, including the provision of broadband. Just reverse those. Basically, I'm saying put the big one first. And I would just say including the provision of instead of and.
Policy seems duplicative now.
Yes. And just say including the provision instead of and, because this is a subset.
Okay.
Okay, that makes me feel better. I feel like this gives the reader a better sense of what they're going to read.
Okay. Anybody else?
You see that Frank's there?
Hello.
Hey, Frank.
All right. Let's see. Okay.
Sorry, we were able to start without you because of the.
All right, let me close.
Looks like Mike is also having trouble getting in.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, we were both in the waiting room, but I'm not sure if we were.
Well, I announced the big switcheroo, Frank.
Okay.
There were gasps. There were not. So we started the meeting and we're into the discussion on broadband recommendations.
Okay. Was Mike let in as well?
I do not see Mike in the waiting room.
You know, it's possible. I'm not sure if I used the link from a previous meeting and maybe that was the wrong link. And that may be what he's on as well.
Frank, do you think you could get the updated link to him and
Yeah,
contact him?
I'll try to forward it.
Thank you.
Right.
Right. Any other comments or edits or suggestions for either Appendix 2 or Appendix 3?
I really like Appendix 2, and in some ways, I guess my comments were wanting Appendix 2 to be more front and center than just an appendix, but it's great.
Worked through it together last time, so. Well, if there are no other comments, the only outstanding item we have on this is updating and formatting Appendix 1, which Andrea and Mike had volunteered to do at our last meeting. Sorry if I'm bouncing around too much. I'll take my hand off the wheel. We could just strike it to get this done tonight and to the board before the year flips over so they can consider it in their budget planning activities. Which I'm feeling a little bit of urgency to because I know that the board has already kind of initiated budget guidance to the manager and started the budget process for from their December meetings. So I guess I'll poll the group and ask how important Appendix 1 is. Jackie.
Yeah, as one of the authors, I would be okay with taking it out. I think, as I said earlier, I think this is research that gave us a perspective to come up with the goals. And so it's probably useful background, and we could send if this discussion progresses, we could send that to give them an idea of how other communities are dealing with it. But if we don't get any traction for what we're trying to do, it's not all that useful. I don't know. The question, I guess, for you all is, does that example of how lots of other jurisdictions have this in their comprehensive plans, does that have sufficient weight for this board to see that everyone else is dealing with it and we aren't? I mean, they're working right now on updates to the comprehensive plan and the comprehensive plan elements, and we actually should be able to ask the board, is this actually it's CPHD that's working on that, so we should be able to ask staff, is this something they're including? Other than that, when it's presented when the manager presents the CPHD draft of the updated comprehensive plan, which is the front part and what elements it includes, which will be in the January, February, maybe even March timeframe. We could come back with a letter and an argument for why it needs to be included and say it's included in all these other jurisdictions and use it then.
Andrea, since you're the other co-author, how do you feel?
Yeah, I agree with that, Jackie. I think listening to John and the urgency and just trying to get this, kind of before the board or, get it slated or routed in there. I think, that would probably be good. And then obviously we have the backup information, and Michael and I can continue to fine tune it to have it ready if they, want to see if we need to provide extra in terms of districts and everybody like that doing it. Is Mike on? He's not on, is
Not quite yet. All right. Other thoughts? I'll go around the horn. Prescott? Jonathan? Gary?
I'm in favor of going ahead.
Frank?
I am as well. It
There's
looks
some
good to me.
All right. Jim?
I agree with going ahead.
All right. Welcome, Mike. Sorry we had the technical snafus.
Okay.
I've announced your triumphant ascendancy.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody is shocked and awed.
Not the effect I usually look for, but okay.
I'm of course being a little bit silly. Okay, so we have worked through a few minor edits up at the top to frame the letter as being broadly about information technology policy, and really the only thing we changed since the draft that I sent out was the sequencing of this sentence. We added information technology policy, including the provision of broadband infrastructure, rather than having it be more broadband forward. Other than that, we've made no changes. The other change that we were just discussing, again, was to move forward without finalizing the edits to Appendix 1 and simply remove it for time's sake. Everybody seemed to be in agreement with that. Do you have any concerns with that approach, Mike?
No, Andrea and I need to get together, and I need to get the latest draft from her, and then I'll work on it next week. So by January, I hope we have, and I will be working with her. And by January, I hope we will have that ready. But yeah, sure.
Okay. So we
Yeah,
go.
when
Sorry,
you
go
get
ahead,
it, Michael. I'm sorry, I need the latest draft as well.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've sent it to you, Andrea, but I can go back and look for it.
I'll look.
I'll look too.
Okay, well, when either of you find it, just forward it to me.
Yeah, and it was sent also to the committee. They did have it.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't locate it.
Okay. All right. I will also look for it. So, do I have a motion to adopt this as our official policy recommendation?
Yes, I move to adopt it.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hey, Frank, you can't vote if you're not on camera, by the way. So you and Jim are
My camera's not,
okay.
it's telling, I think I may have two windows up and saying,
Not a worries. We have a quorum.
all right, am
Are
I
there
on
any-
now? Now it's saying on.
No, you're not. Oh, wait.
Okay.
Wait, almost.
He was
No,
on a
it
second
just
ago.
clicked, it just clicked off again.
All right. So we have all
Yeah, I'm
the
having that
ayes.
problem too.
Oh,
no,
there we go,
okay, I
Frank.
think I'm on now, it looks like.
Yes, you're on
Frank.
now.
Frank, what's your
Okay,
vote?
now I say yes,
All
aye.
right, great.
Good to see you.
Any
Literally.
opposed? All right, the ayes have it. We will adopt this. I will remove the draft, PDF it, and send it over, Tracy, to the board, CCing to you, and we will have made our recommendations. So congratulations. It's been a long discussion, but I think we got a good product, so I'm happy with it. All right. Next item, annual readoption of the virtual meetings policy. I also sent that out. The state legislature updated the rules for virtual meetings under the Virginia Open Meetings laws, requiring clarifying a few things, but also requiring groups such as ours to readopt on an annual basis. We've got the template out to folks. You've had a chance to read it. I don't think there's many substantive changes other than not being able to have consecutive virtual meetings and clarification of the term caregiver and the requirement that we be on camera to take action and count for a quorum during virtual meetings. Is there any concerns with anybody adopting with the updated virtual meeting policy?
No,
If not, do I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second?
second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it. We have fulfilled our responsibilities, Tracy. Make sure the county attorney knows that we're on the ball. All right. And I'll I'll reverse the legislative update and go to Ms. Hartel, who's here with the big news that we all got over email. Holly, would you like to share publicly?
So if I can get myself off mute, if you'll forgive me for I don't have a voice. I've been talking a lot over the last couple of days. So for those of you who've not read, Norrin Lee, who was our CIO, is leaving at the end of the year, and I'm going to serve as the interim CIO. They will be looking for a permanent CIO starting the beginning of next year, but until that is filled, I will be in that position. I think Norrin leaves me in a great position. He's done a lot of great work here with the team, with the technology that we've been working on before him. And so I'm excited to spend my time here with you all. Also excited to hear the conversation related to your policy recommendation. And I will be back next month supporting Jeff as we talk about the Broadband Advisory Commission, kind of our findings of what we've done with the recommendations. So many of y'all know me. For those who do not, I have been with the county for 18 years in several different roles, all with the Department of Technology Services. I started out as a consultant on the county's Oracle ERP implementation, and then from there transitioned in supporting Oracle for a number of years before having an opportunity to expand my knowledge and my work of various different aspects of how technology works and how we make sure that we're providing better service to you as citizens and to the internal departments as our customers. So glad to be here and thank you very much.
Thank you, Holly, for your service. We're in good hands in this time of transition. It's always wonderful to have that type of continuity in the leadership team. And please send Norrin our well wishes.
I will.
All right. Frank, just because you're stepping down as vice chair doesn't mean you get off the hook for the legislative update. Why don't you give us the rundown, sir?
All right, I did circulate it, but I will go over it real quickly. So I'm trying to get back. Oh, there I okay. Anyway, New York State had actually adopted a monthly cap of $15 for broadband service for qualifying low-income households. This is the first state to do that. And the U.S. Supreme Court rejected an appeal by the broadband industry raising concerns. Basically, they raised preemption, claiming that the federal law precluded New York from setting a cap on broadband rates. But there's also for higher speeds, a $20 rate that the New York law did. So the Supreme Court is basically allowing this cap to remain in place. So it's something I'm sure other states will look at. Not sure that Virginia and its current leadership would do so, but we would see. Senator Ron Wyden introduced the Secure American Communications Act, which would require telecom companies to basically it's a wide-ranging law that would require telecom companies to adopt cybersecurity protocols, and then there would be adopted by the FCC in collaboration with the with CISA and the NDI, and would also basically require annual submissions to show compliance and require annual audits. And this is all in response to the Salt Typhoon Chinese cyber espionage collective hacking of U.S. telecom networks, which some of you may have read about. Final item is the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to review a lower court's ruling finding that the Universal Service Fund, USF, which distributes $2 billion annually to the E-rate program for connecting schools and libraries to the internet, to be unconstitutional. So there's another crack at reviving the USF there. That's all I've got for this month and this year.
All right. Thank you, Frank. Do we have any items for the good of the order? Nope. Okay. We will be in person in January because of the inability to do back-to-back virtual meetings. And then I assume we'll have our third virtual meeting in February. So I'll see you all at the Bozeman Center in January next year. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Second.
I'll second.
I'll second. Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much, folks. Very efficient tonight. Have a good Happy New Year, folks. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Happy
Happy
holidays,
holidays
everybody.
all.